Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to a video review for The Mandalorian, Season 3. So, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. To start with furry, it's Star Wars, so there's going to be various anthropomorphic aliens that have a bit of an animal tilt to them. There's also some very large aliens. If you remember from, I think, Season 1, Season 2, there's some big ones like that, so there's more of that type of appearance in this one. So yeah, if you like that amount, there's about that amount in this season. Moving on to the good and the bad. So, uh, I will put my review for, I think, Season 1. I don't remember if I even did a Season 2 review. But I didn't really care for Season 1. I know that everybody loved the hell out of it. They're like, oh my god, it's the Mandalorian, it's so great. But I didn't really care for it. And the reason is that Season 1, it was just like, hey, we're going to have some bullshit reason for him to get stuck somewhere, to have to do something for somebody to get the thing that he needs to do in order to go back to do the thing. And like, there are episodes of shows where I like that happening, but when it's the entire season and I didn't care, and I was just like, ugh, it's so frustrating. So, the CGI though was always on point, so I was like, you know what, whatever. And it was something new to be on, so I decided to give Season 3 a shot. And let me tell you, I'm glad that I did, because this season was by far my most favorite season. And I would say that Andor is still the best Star Wars show, but The Mandalorian Season 3 is probably the next highest, followed by like all the rest of the seasons. Uh, of just all of their shows, just live action ones anyway. So I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Definitely a thumbs up. And I think that part of the reason is because, yes, you still got to see a lot of the characters that you got introduced to in the last season. And yes, there was a little bit of the, like, bullshit reason of the week to have to go do the thing and yeah, just go on a fetch quest, basically. So there was still a little bit of that. But there was a whole lot more substance and, like, exploration of the Mandalorians themselves. So Katie Sackhoff comes back. I really liked her when she was in whatever season, which first or second season, whichever. But I really liked her in this season. You can always give me more Katie Sackhoff. I've loved her pretty much everything that I've seen her in. So fantastic job, good choice of casting her. Um, and you got to see the forged lady again. Obviously, there's Grogu and the repair chick. So there's a lot of appearances of the characters that you know and love from the first one or first season or two. But what I like is that we get to see a whole lot of new characters, and there's even basically an entire episode of just about this Republican, like an old Empire person who's like in the prison-ish system to get like reformed, and kind of where that leads. And it was fun to be able to see that aspect. Now, some people might be like, but there wasn't enough Mandalorian in that episode. Like, I don't care. You saw from the Book of Boba Fett, where the last half of that season was just more Mandalorian. So I feel like Star Wars just kind of slaps titles on things and then just explores their universe that they have. A lot of the shows were not good, but this season was really good in my opinion. As always, it's a Star Wars, so the Industrial Light and Magic handles the CGI for the most part, and they do a fantastic job, which is saying something because there's a lot of like jetpack events, because the Mandalorians have jetpacks a lot of times, and there's some jetpack events which I think would be very difficult to make look realistic, just based on how the jetpack works and like the takeoffs, landings, the flying around to spend to make that look good, and they accomplish that every time. So good job for that. And yeah, the pacing I thought was a lot better because you didn't have nearly as much just pointless fetch quests. And while I still didn't get the why they have X, Y, or Z tradition for the Mandalorians, we did get to see more of their tradition, more of their homeland, more of the things that could have been, and some personality behind the different Mandalorians, and I really liked that. And there was just fun and interesting developments, and like it really just in the first season or two, it was just like this super duper narrow focus on just Din Djarin and the child, eventually the Grogu, and it's just like, okay, cool, but like we've seen him. He goes, he defeats the thing, he comes back, and then he finds some other problem, and he has to go do the thing, and like, great. I've seen 50 million episodes of that by now. Let's do something more. And this one does the more. You get to see a much larger picture of the universe, and so you get to see, you're starting to see how the Empire is becoming the First Order, because it's set in that time frame kind of between the two, and you're getting to see how that is happening. And it's really fun, in my opinion, because it definitely expands the universe and makes what they are doing actually matter. Because in the other seasons, it was just like, okay, Din Djarin is doing good guy things because he's a good guy, affecting like 4 people. But this, it's going to have much more galactic consequences, I think, and we are seeing the galactic machinations, which I think has always been one of the more interesting aspects of the Star Wars universe that has been sorely lacking in The Mandalorian. So I think that this season is definitely worth a watch. I will say I would have liked to have seen more of Pedro Pascal's face, but story-wise, I think that they made it make sense as well as they could. And yeah, so I definitely think this is worth a watch, and it's a fun time with much more expanded story with good CGI. Obviously, the theme song, you're gonna recognize it immediately. So good job with the music there. And yeah, there's a little bit of that season 1, season 2 bullshit, but for the most part, it's a much better show in my opinion. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.